spill no drink on my clothes when I'm Louis.
There's a magician behind it all.
Don't like stress in my dome. Straight to the head when I'm 1942 sipping. Been wavy.
Supposedly this is the best burger in Dubai.
Talk to me in public.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen, we are now vlogging. So what I decided to do is get a camera guy, my friend Shayan, to pick up a camera, follow me around and just document my normal life. I'm not going to do vlogs where I'm documenting crazy Dubai lifestyle and fancy Forex trade and normal stuff. Some days I didn't even take a trade. Some days I took an average trade. Some days it was just break even. But my life sometimes can be cool. Sometimes can be interesting. I meet cool people. I do podcasts with cool people. And then also just living in Dubai is epic. So yeah, sit back, relax and enjoy the show. So I usually start off with coming on pre-Frankfurt and just looking at the markets to see what's going on. Now Frankfurt and London Open here is beautiful time. It's midday or 11 a.m. and 12, whereas in the UK I'd have to get up at 6 to 7 to have the equivalent effect. So I can have a full morning, do what I want to do, hang out and then come. What I've done is a bit of a markup for the day, and what I'll do is if there's any trade to take, and I'll tell you guys what I'm looking at, then I'll throw it on Twitter as I have been for this week being week 11 of the signals I've been doing. So I'll throw that on Twitter and we can get a BTS of the trades we're going to take and how that day looks, and then the regular stuff we get up to. So I'll give you a quick overview of what I'm thinking. Previously, we were just noticing there's been build up of liquidity, run of liquidity, push down, build up of liquidity, run of liquidity, push down, build up of liquidity, run of liquidity, push down. Basically indicating that the sellers are in control. So when I've come into that, I'm realizing I would want to sell. But the only thing to notice, price has come to this area. That area led to this push out, and therefore price today is coming to this zone. So this would be like people are looking to buy because this is a demand area. But when you think about it further, this area that led to a low is the supply. Price came into that supply and has led to lows. So this area is technically not a demand. It's just lower high, lower low, lower high. Technically should go on to make a lower low. So my higher time frame framing is basically saying we should be looking for sells, but we are at the bottom, so potentially there's a counter trend trade to take. So when I come into today's price action, what I've marked up is this fake demand, I want to call it, because it is a lower low. But then what we do is notice the details of the session. So what I'm noticing first of all is we have Asia low liquidity, we have this trend line building up. So price is showing us we are bullish for now, and that could be a trap. So when I go into the M1 and I notice more details of that, then I need to see, okay, well, it's not just building a trend line, we're doing runs of liquidity. So we had a build up there, quick run of liquidity. So when I notice this, it's like, okay, it's showing me who's in control. Buyers control, push out. Same thing again, we have a build up, we have a run of liquidity, we have a push out. Same here, build up of liquidity, inducement, push out. So these 1, 2, 3 is just showing me that the buyers are in control, so I can't sell yet. So I need to see the manipulation of the day. That's what I use to decide when I'm ready to take a trade. So it's coming into my London Open. This is the custom indicator I made. So this is my trading window. So right now all I've seen is price is coming into a supply. Now that supply is super weak because it's just a 5-minute supply. So I need to see is it worth any trade. And on a day like today, now that I'm seeing it present, there's nothing for me yet because I want to see Asia high taken or Asia low taken before I consider anything. So right now we're in the middle of Asia. So what if I'm to build kind of a roadmap? I can say the buyers are in control because of the thing I just mentioned. So you get kind of like this, and then we target Asia high to then have a play. Let's say that could be one roadmap. So as you can see, my framework for a normal day in the market is very simple. I just come in, look at the high time frame, quick glance to no context. Then I jump right into the 1-minute time frame. Again, what I recommend you do is not the same as what I do because I've been doing this for 8 years. I'm very competent and comfortable with the lower time frame. It's very simple. I just need to know who's in control, where are we headed, what's likely to be the inducement of the day, where the session is most likely to go, and can it align with a higher time frame narrative. And then M1, all I'm looking for is a time-based manipulation to get in. That's very simple analysis, and that's what I do every day because I watch EU and GU every single day. I have done for the last 3 years. Therefore, for me, it becomes very easy. I'm not doing these crazy analysis that you might expect. Spending 1 hour dissecting the chart and having all these colorful things and indicators and multiple monitors. Even though I have the monitors, I prefer to just do it on my laptop very quickly. My total analysis time is 5 minutes because I just need to know, am I in the right zone? Am I going to get a time-based manipulation? Which direction do I need to trade? And then I just need to find the inducement of the day and trade away from it in the session volatility. Pretty simple. So basically, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that price is coming to this level and I know that price could react from here. And then it could also come to this last inducement that I just mentioned. It could bounce off either of these zones. I'm not going to trade them and I don't care to because I want to see price take a run of liquidity of Asia and that demand, or price come higher and do some manipulation. So I'm looking for the manipulation and I don't think it's coming through Asia midline. When I come into EU, it's a similar framework on a higher time frame. So that lower low area, we've come to the demand and so forth. The only difference is, and maybe I'm preferring this, is because right now, as we've been filming, we are getting this Asia buildup of liquidity. We're getting that run of liquidity that's respecting that level, supply, let's call it. Now we're getting a reaction. We've also had this break of structure here. So sellers, particularly smart money traders, they're going to see that seller's reaction. They're going to come come here, look to sell. So now I know that smart money traders are very keen there. I can potentially see that, okay, well, price is gonna give these guys a fake reaction, manipulate them out. Then we go for Asia high, smart money trap, and then we could potentially trade there. So again, remember, when I say smart money trap, it doesn't mean you as an SMC trader who's been doing this for 8 years and you're deep in ICT. Don't get offended, don't get butthurt. Look, I'm talking about the average SMC trader where they normally go wrong. And there's always an excuse in the comments of, oh, but I never would have entered there because of this, because of higher time frame, because it was this. Again, it doesn't matter what you may think. I don't have to prove anything. Look, if I see it in the market every single day and I see these traps happening every single day and then the real move happening after that trap, don't shoot the messenger. I see it every day. I'm just showing you example after example after example. Smart money traps exist. Maybe it wouldn't trap you as an SMC trader, but it does trap a lot of SMC traders who maybe don't understand it as good as you. That's the most favorable setup I see for the day. But if price does go bearish in the end, then I have to reformulate. And if I do see another variance, it will look something like this, which will be basically, if price does respect the smart money zone, which it can, because smart money traders need to see it to believe it, so they might get a reaction like this. And then if we are playing like this, then I see this trend line liquidity, Asia low, and my demand liquidity. If I get a proper inducement there, I would love to trade that up, and that would be my preferred setup if that happens. But from what I'm seeing, it's not likely to be that, which means it will be the sells from this supply zone. So basically saying, I've kind of done a read and I have my preferred zones, preferred directional biases. Now it's a waiting game, so I don't have to do anything, meaning I'm going to walk away from my screen and wait for my limits to trigger. I'll put alerts and then I'll just be monitoring my phone, and we can go out and do some stuff or get some other work done. As you can see, Shiana got a huge to-do list on the whiteboard. So look, when I do my analysis, as you know, I have everything modeled out. My entries, I have a list of entry models. That's the only ones I'll take. And then I also have my daily cycle variance. Every single day will have a daily cycle variant, a different roadmap for each day, categorized, predefined, and then I have my trade models. So basically all I have to do is at the start of the day understand the potential roadmaps, the likely roadmaps, whether it's going to be bullish, whether it's going to be bearish, and I forecast every single way it could be bullish, every single way it could be bearish to forecast the session. And then I see if any of those roadmaps are playing out, and then if they are playing out, do they align with my criteria? Does it align with my entries? Does it align with anything? If it does, I take the trade. If it doesn't, I don't enter, even if I can call the market, even if I can say likely this and this is going to happen, but I maybe won't be able to trade it, because being an analyst, being a trader, two separate things. And whilst we are here now and the breakdown is done, what I can do is introduce my good friend Nagy, the hooded man. Yo, my man Nagy. He's the man behind the magic on the YouTube channel, the growth of Titans of Tomorrow, from 0 to 40k subs on the YouTube channel. He's the magician behind it. From 0 to 25k in 6 months on the podcast, basically unheard of. The man behind it is Nagy, a good friend, and it was cool to see him flying out from Egypt, paying us a visit in Dubai, spending some time with him and bonding closer. And I like to build not just a employee-employer relationship. I think that's weird. I think you should be friends, because if you want to be working long-term and have passionate people around you, a company culture is important. And as my companies are growing, as the teams are growing, it's important to have people in your corner that you know and trust and can rely on for everything. Nagy I can trust as a close friend and as a brother, and that's exactly why I've promoted him to now be head of production, to have a team of people under him and be the head of content. So yeah, let's get to know Nagy a little bit better. So Nagy's, well, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Well, yeah, basically I've been the man behind the scenes. I was just whipping up the podcast trailers, the YouTube videos that we've been working on together, and getting the content that best represents Waqar's brand and Waqar's sort of knowledge. I mean, yeah, so Nagy's the guy that makes me look good on camera. So he knows me on a level that not even my mom will know, which is when I can't get a sentence out, I'm tripping over my words, he'll just delete it all and make me look like a professional speaker. So he's flown in from Egypt. He just did Umrah and then a couple of days with us in Dubai, which actually reminds me, I'm going to show them the gifts you got. And that's what I love about the Muslim culture. That's what I love about the Arab culture. So much hospitality, so much love. Whether it's a stranger, whether it's someone you meet on the street, or whether it's a close friend, you'll always have that above and beyond hospitality. So look how cool the gifts is that he got me. Yeah, here we have the religious goodies, let's say. So they're fresh from Makkah and Medina when he was just on his Umrah trip. So now if you want to talk me through what everything is, because you explained it well. It was not just dates and perfume, it was more. Well, so basically that is a prayer mat. It's made from the same fabric that they make right at the grave of the Prophet ﷺ in his masjid. So it's a resemblance of that place. So you kind of almost take it with you whenever you want to go pray. And of course that's the infamous miswak, the ancient toothbrush that the Prophet used to use back in the day. These are some dates from all over Saudi. So Medina dates, Mecca dates, Majdoul dates, all types of dates found all over Saudi. And there's a hadith on the Prophet ﷺ mentioning that the dates from Medina have some sort of sacred quality to them as well. And that is something I think most Middle Eastern people may recognize. It's a pure form of misk, which is the Prophet's favorite perfume or favorite smell, and that's the oil version of the misk.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know if anybody knows what these are, or if you've ever come across these ancient toothbrushes, let's say. When I was at uni, obviously we were looking at history of dental care and the different apparatuses people used, and this came up, and only the Muslim guys in the class were like, oh yeah, that's miswak. Everyone else was like,
What was that? Is
brush
that
with a stick?
Stick?
Excellent stuff, man. Nagy, thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
The hospitality, eh? I mean, likewise back, Nagy was like, hey, Wakar, I'm about to land. Should I get a hotel? I was like, what? Hotel? No way, you're coming here. You're staying with us, yeah. So yeah, as you know, my time window is important, and that's kind of the way I trade. Pre my time window, I'm going to be watching price action. And then as the minute opens of my time window, that's when I'm active and alert. That's when I need to watch price action, just for that time window. So I'm not going to be on the charts 8 hours a day, just my time window. Pre-planning, forecasting, just 5 minutes. Be alert for the hour, the tradable window. Once that window's over, if I have a trade, if I don't have a trade, after that, done. And then onto the New York window, same thing again. Let's head down and get a coffee. I'm just going to double check if there's anything changing, which there is. Actually, I can quickly show you as we've been showing the gifts. So now that it's London open, just now on the minute, which is why I wanted to check, we can see that supply zone that led to a break of structure that took liquidity is a smart money zone. But we can kind of see as well, smart money traders are at times right. We have that build up, we have that fair value gap, imbalance, whatever. That taps in, then we get this push down. This area fails to make a higher high. Okay, so that could have gone on to make a higher high. So we know that this is a bearish sign, and then if this breaks and gives a lower low, I can have a valid setup. It's not a preferred setup, but I can have a valid setup right here. Stop loss at the high to protect myself. That would be a mid trade. It's not an A+ trade at all, because I wanted stronger manipulations. But this can be just a trade to get the session volatility. So as London open kicks in, the volatility, if I can just trade it down to grab this Asia low liquidity and take that demand, that can be a sell into my buy. So that's something I sometimes do. I'll only do it when I'm in profit. So if I'm in profit for the month, if I'm in profit for the day, whatever, I can take these subprime trades. Look at the time. Time is so key. This one as well. When did this manipulation, that manipulation there that took the point of liquidity that led to this push out, when did it happen? On the minute of Frankfurt Open, 7 a.m. UK time, and now we are on the minute of London Open, and if we respect this level, we could potentially see price come lower. As I mentioned, there was going to be a trap, and that's the reason I wasn't keen on trading it, because I knew this was most likely going to be a smart money trap. What I said was, if we just go back earlier in the video, so we have that build up, we have that fair value gap, imbalance, whatever. I said there was a build up, smart money traders like, there was that run of liquidity, smart money traders like, tapping into a supply zone, smart money traders like, and then this break of structure, smart money traders like. So when we come down to the M1, what are smart money traders going to do? They're going to trade that zone, and they're therefore going to get trapped into it. Now, what I was saying was, this area was the smart money zone. Price came in, did that build up, run of liquidity, and then price, I needed it to give a break of structure here for us to consider it. I needed it to go lower. What it did in the end was it respected the zone. We can see it didn't make a lower low. So the fact that I didn't give a break of structure for me was not a valid requirement. Oh, sorry, not a valid entry. But now just looking back, we can see why it was a trap and how powerful of a trap it was. So number one we see is we have this build up, this liquidity point. That therefore became the inducement of the session. That was the run of liquidity. So we have to trade away from it, knowing that that's the inducement. Is going to be a bullish session. So when we see that and we're coming into a trap zone, the market is going to, instead of just wipe them out, it's going to invite them in, invite their stop losses, and then take them out. So what did it do? It gave them an entry here and said, guys, get in, entry number one. Then it respected it, said, no, we're respecting the zone, entry number two. Notice how the market doesn't just wipe people out. It shows them a zone that you should look into, gives them a small reaction in their direction, gives them a bit of profit. What is that going to do? It's going to get people to FOMO in, it's going to get people to double down, it's going to get people to over leverage, and people that didn't get in, chase the trade. Emotions linked with price action leads to manipulations, and we see it all the time. So a lot of times it'll get wiped out, but those times that I'm seeing a small reaction, selling the story, and then it gets wiped out, it becomes powerful. So you'll see so many examples of this, and I want you to go and learn from it. I don't want you to just be like, oh, cool to see. Learn from these things. They're super important. Yeah, when price is taken out the early smart money traders that were getting in this area, what does price do? It comes high, it comes to the top of the zone, respecting it, and then gives them a quick reaction down. So those smart money traders thinking, damn, I got in too early, they got stopped out, they'll go again. They enter here again, jumping in, seeing it's bearish, and then what price really does is it's just respecting that mitigation, and now the session volatility is basically bullish, and this all became a trap, and they just got taken out. So right before we were about to get a coffee, I kind of said I could trade it if I see a break of structure. We didn't see that, and wasn't keen on it. I said there's low probability, and the reason being this was all going to be a trap, and now the trap is playing out. So now I can use that trap later on to build a trade later on in a couple of hours. We can see if this is going to mean anything. So yeah, let's see later on. So yeah, now we've come and got a coffee. This is my daily spot, Arabica. I'm literally here every single day, and this is my routine. So what I'll usually do is place the trades, I'll have my ideas, bring my laptop and then headphones in, send voice notes to Nagy and all the other team members. So this is kind of a mini workstation where I'm doing chill work. So yeah, it's important to recognize there's two things, and Nagy just asked me the question of like, okay, you can forecast these positions, why not trade them all? And it's an idea of like, you can have an idea, you can have a trade set up, and you can even build a roadmap of these are the likely things, and they can be quite high probable. But being an analyst and having ideas and trading those ideas, being a trader to it, you need confluences, you need requirements, so it doesn't always line up. So some days it's just you call the market but couldn't trade it, other days you can call it and trade it. So what GU has done in the end is done that run of liquidity we were talking about, coming into the supply zone. When did that supply zone get hit? So we talked about the inducement low, that was the fuel to come higher. We came into the supply. What have we done when we come into the supply? It's all these little details that are not spotted on a high time frame. It didn't just tap into the supply, it did something else. It did this mini build up here, and then it did inducement in the supply and then reacted in our London window. So I would look to sell it here ordinarily, but I don't like that it didn't take Asia high liquidity. It's still within my Asia range, but it's coming into this demand now, so it could just go higher. So I'm not keen on selling it. This one was even better, this EU one, because we mentioned it right at the beginning where we had the smart money build up, smart money run of liquidity, smart money break of structure, early sellers reaction, and then all of that got induced out, which we mentioned before we came down for the coffee. So you can see the early reaction didn't give the break of structure, so no trade for us, and then a secondary reaction, try to get them all in, and then the final inducement. Once the smart money trade is all out, then we get that final inducement, and then price comes down. Meaning to say that all the smart money trades just got manipulated here. Now if this gave me an entry requirement, I would have sold it, but I just couldn't find anything for me. So that's the difference between we called it, we saw a roadmap, we saw the ideas, but we just couldn't get in. So we'll wait for New York session now and see if there's anything to trade. So until then, we enjoy. I'm a firm believer that not just having entry requirements is important. You know, that checklist of reasons to enter with a hierarchy that I always need these ones, these are my cherry on top ones, you know, the non-negotiables. I always need this to enter a trade. Even if I have these other 10 things, I always need this, your non-negotiable entry requirements. And then also your preferences. What is going to take it from an average setup to a great setup will be your cherry on top confluences. Once you have your reasons to enter, do you have invalidation criteria? Do you have strong invalidation criteria to say, okay, this one gives me an element of doubt, but I'll still enter, versus this one gives me an element of doubt and I can't enter? You need to know the devil's advocate position. If you're looking to sell, what could be the reasons the market goes up? You need to know. And then you need to see, is that calculated risk still worth selling, or that calculated risk is no longer worth selling? Then you make a decision based on the devil's advocate and what you're seeing for your confluences, and you have to make decisions that can't be on the day. It can't be like, oh, today I'll take it, or the next day I won't take it, based on emotion. You need to have it all predefined. Not every day when you come to the market you're deciding what to do. So we could just say this could continue up, even though we've had a break of structure. That's not enough to negate it, but the real reason I negate it is because the correlated pair EU, it did an Asia low run of liquidity, and then it should, you know, with that liquidity grab, come higher, and even come higher to this zone. So if EU is going to come higher, GU by virtue should also come higher, and therefore probably take out that zone. So that zone is no longer favorable, but if price comes back to this area and manipulates it, or maybe even respects it in New York, I could look to sell there. So that's my preference for now. You see how I built a narrative? I saw it could be bearish, but then I also read the counter narrative of why it could be bullish, and I saw the correlation pairs, and I said, okay, well, one of them's come to a demand area and it should come higher, but then this one's also come to a demand area and taken Asia low, so therefore this one should come a lot higher. So therefore, if this one should come a lot higher, the room for this one is also room to come higher, so it's not worth selling. So not only did I have an invalidation criteria, I call it the efficiency of the pullback, that red box, I also have my correlations to build a thesis, and I just decided these are my invalidations, I cannot enter the trade. So I stay out because I want to avoid losses, not just FOMO into trades and try and get into everything. So until then, there's nothing to do. It's just we called the market, we saw what could happen, but no entry requirement. Doubts now forming, so we just stay out and stay on the discipline and wait for quality setups, which will come around eventually. Yo, yeah, we're just gonna have some breakfast. You know, it's interesting, so I'm gonna show you from my phone. We'll do a full breakdown later. Trade I said that would play out, could play out. I decided not to take it, and it has played out exactly as we forecasted, but we didn't take the trade. And it's important to note, just because you have an idea and it could play out, and maybe even favorably play out, you need to have strong disqualifications. And I always say this, a profitable trader is a restricted trader, and in this case, this you have to be restricted even though it played out. I mentioned the reasons I didn't take it, and those were there, so we didn't take it, but it played out in the end, so it is what it is, but we stayed disciplined. So I'm going to update on Twitter now, and then later when we're back home we can explain why.
What did you get, bro?
Got the high-rise pancakes, some halal bacon. I don't know what that is.
I like how you said halal bacon.
Halal bacon. Have to make a point.
What happened to you yesterday when we went for breakfast?
Yeah, we had the English breakfast. Yeah, it was like, bro, I saw some bacon. I saw some bacon on the plate. I was like, bro, there's bacon.
I've just come from Umrah.
Yeah, exactly. I just come from Umrah, bro. Astaghfirullah, what's this? And he was like, don't worry, it's beef bacon.
What did you get?
Trying out chicken eggs Benedict. Never had it before. Let's see. Let's see. Cool. Okay, let's summarize now. So we've had breakfast, we've chilled, whatever, and the trade has played out. We didn't get in for the reasons I said, so let's do a quick debrief of the session. So we mentioned at the beginning of the day that we had this fake demand because it was a low low. So we expected it to be taken out, which it now has been. We had this trendline liquidity, which was doing inducements on the way to get to the supply. Once it got to the supply, it's attacking that liquidity. So we knew that was going to happen. And then we also found a reason where we had a run of liquidity, supply zone, internal break of structure, entry. It's a good trade. The reason I didn't take it, and I think it's important to remember, a restricted trader is a profitable one. So the reasons we didn't take the trade, it played out. Number one, it's a supply zone, yes, but we have Asia high liquidity. So that manipulation could very easily just go there and then give a confirmation. That was reason number one. Number two is price came to this demand area. So that demand area that ran liquidity that led to that push up. If price has come and tapped into that demand, who's to say it's not just going to continue bullish where we have inducement, higher high, price retraces, higher low, goes on to make a higher high. So therefore we'd be caught selling when it was in the wrong context. And then the last thing to kind of give me that confirmation that I shouldn't enter the trade, even though it was decent, was that price at the same time that we had our entry at 906. Where was price at 906 here? Price was here. Ish. We'd already done the inducement of Asia low. So the fact that we've had a run of liquidity of Asia low, run of liquidity, inducement, and strong reaction out. If this has the room to go all the way up here, for example, which it could have done, that would imply this would come a lot higher and break through that entry. In the end, this respected, and this gave a shallow reaction off that level. But because there was that element of doubt, the price can retrace all the way to here, it was worth waiting out. But even so, even though we didn't get in a trade, a restricted trader is a profitable one. It's okay. We'll have another opportunity the next day. The thing to remember, there's one last thing, Shayan. But now we know where the inducement of the session was. This was the inducement of the session that took the liquidity, tapped into a supply, and we traded away from it. This one was smart money trap. So we had the smart money build up, run of liquidity, inducement of the day, and then we had the trade away from it. So either way, no matter if we take the trade or not, the rules apply. We have time-based manipulation, both run London Open, and then we trade away from the inducement of the day, and that's kind of the laws of the market. And then the last thing to notice is the time sensitivity when we have this. When did that happen? It happened at London Open, or just 10 minutes in. Where did this manipulation happen? First manipulation, Frankfurt Open on the minute. Next manipulation or inducement of the day, a couple minutes after London Open. So time-based manipulation is powerful because you usually find the inducement of the day and then the most volatility, so therefore scope for a good move. I threw on Twitter that this was a trade that played out. I didn't take it. What are your thoughts? So we got a heated debate going on. But yeah, these are my thoughts for those of you on Twitter who are looking. This is the reason I didn't take the trade. Because I have so much faith in Nagy. I'm not part of the production process at all. When Nagy says it's done, I'm like, okay, solid. I know it's going to be as good as it can be. We've been working together for a year now. So that's the first time I'm actually seeing the BTS of what a timeline looks like.
So yeah, I haven't really touched it yet, but that's 2 camera angles. Usually it's like 3 or 4 depending on the...
Yeah, now I give you big files, I give you multiple angles and a screen and an iPad.
What's that? It's 42 minutes before I even touch it. That's probably going to be like a 12-minute video.
This is why he's a magician. I'll throw him an hour-long waffle and he'll make it into a 10-minute miracle.
Bro, the most frustrating thing I've ever had happen to me was when I made this intro animation for the first Twitter video. And then I exported the video without the intro that I spent like 10 hours making. And then the video went live and Wakar was like, yeah man, good intro, good video man. And I was like, the main intro was not even an actual video, and I just felt so betrayed.
Bro, this is chaos. This is absolute chaos.
I mean, yeah, like of course you get down to the second. It's more manageable.
One of these weekly videos that we do, which is 15 minutes long, what's the editing process time-wise take?
It depends on how much waffle I may have or not.
A lot of waffle.
Yeah, it just depends on the type of waffle, but sometimes like that video in particular was actually surprisingly long to just cut. So it's 12 minutes. I think it's about 40 minutes. 40 minutes to 12 minutes. It took some time to condense that. It's condensing storyboarding, and then once that storyboard is set, I just get started on the animation. And if I have an exact idea of what I want to execute, it's just a matter of execution.
This final 12-minute video, how long did it take you?
I think that was roughly 25 hours of work.
A full week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. Good stuff. Nagy's the magician, eh? Okay everyone, so we're later on in the day, and obviously we had the inducement of the day that came low. We have now taken Asia low liquidity. We've also made a lower low. Now that we made the lower low in the market, we can also see signs for a retracement, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I'm not going to trade it because it doesn't fit my rules, specifically of time, but we also have in our favor Asia low liquidity, and then we also have build up of liquidity here, an inducement over here, bullish break of structure, tapping in, mitigating that area, second break of structure, tapping in, and then we can continue high and basically having a retracement until our New York session, and then New York session maybe a continuation. So when we think of targets, maybe we could come to this level or this level. So those are the kind of areas I want to see how New York presents if we're going to have a zone to reverse off. I could take this trade as the buy, but it's not quality enough in my opinion, so I want to just be restricted as always. So these are the two zones that I'm going to watch for New York. And then the last confirmation that I want to show is if I compare it to EU. So the last reason that we can say this trade was valid is because when we have this mitigation here, from here to here, we're getting a mitigation and price is respecting that zone. If I make a box for you guys, you can kind of see it directly. Price is respecting it and we are coming up. If I just draw a line, we're coming up like that. But on here, this was not respecting. At the same time, that was not respected, it was coming lower. So we can see that divergence right there. So therefore that is indicating to us that this was a manipulation, because if this is respecting, this should respect too. So that manipulation and then reaction confirms to us that this is a valid reaction. So I can foresee this coming higher. Again, another opportunity that we can call the market. So as I mentioned, I saw an opportunity, it had its reasons to get in, but I have my requirements. It's not just these cherry on top confluences. I need my base confluences, my non-negotiables, which were not there, so I couldn't take the trade. And it's cool to see now my non-negotiables, the reason I didn't enter the trade was the reason I didn't take a loss. Restricted trader is a profitable trader. Calling the market, trading the market, two different things. So this is something I foresee, but I'm going to wait for my time window and proper confirmations to potentially take a trade. And if nothing presents, it's okay. It's not my day. Okay, then, so now we're just coming up to New York Open. So now that we're here in New York Open, I wanted to give an update on why I didn't take the trade. And it's all become a smart money trap now. Now, the reason I say that is because we hit this build up, run of liquidity, smart money traders like, with a break of structure. So smart money traders are going to be loading up in here. And it was in a demand area on a higher time frame. So that's everything smart money traders want. Higher time frame, run of liquidity, break of structure. That's their trio. The missing piece of the portion was time. And because of that, we had all of this build up. That all became a smart money trap. It failed to follow through. So now that has become liquidity. And New York Open has done the inducement. So once again, affirming time correlated to runs of liquidity. Now what I'm going to do is my trading window is an hour. So we have 1 hour to let price do its thing. And in my New York window, if I find an opportunity after this manipulation, I will jump in. And in that meantime, we can just go to the gym and wait for this to happen. And then we'll come back in New York and see, is there an opportunity for us? So this is the home gym or the apartment gym. And then if it gives us kind of no excuse. So we've got the masjid right here. So no excuse to miss a prayer. And then the gym down here to not miss a workout. But I still miss all my workouts. We did
chest and tries yesterday. We do back today.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my cardio in to get rid of this baby.
Big step. Big step. First of all, rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. Don't spill no drink on my clothes when I'm Louis V dripping. Don't like stress in my dome. Straight to the head when I'm 1942 sipping. Been wavy since morning.
What's up, baby?
Ladies and gents, we are here with my boys, Noor and Chan from South Sudan. We connected in Dubai. We've been friends for a year now. These guys are bosses, man. They're family businesses, mashallah, doing very well. Multiple businesses, including some in Dubai. And this is the fruits of their labor. These are the two cars that I've seen them have for a while. It's the Urus and the G-Wagon. And then tell me the story behind this. What's going on here?
So for now, we've been seeing this car a lot. We've been seeing in the streets. We're like, what is this? What is this? You know, we go down to First Motor. They say this is the Ferrari SF90. We had to test it out, you know. So we got it out. Yeah, it's in the works right now. We had to go rent one out, see how we liked. We're in love already, and inshallah soon we'll have our next.
So what's the dream lineup when the new crib happens? Inshallah, what's the lineup?
This one's on its way. We'll have
SF90.
this one to stay out the front, you know, for anybody to see.
Rolls Royce Phantom, inshallah.
Yeah, what do your parents think of this? Like, these two make sense. They're family cars, kind of. When you pull this up, what's your mom and dad think?
Mom's first thought was, I don't care, you guys get it, but I'm not driving. I'm not getting in it.
She doesn't stop for her. She doesn't stop for her.
But you know, when Dad comes to see the car, it's gonna be take it. Let's go.
So let's take it from a spin. So in Dubai, there's so many people I've met, and that's networking. That's people that you just know, have access to, high-level people. I know a bunch of multimillionaires. I even know a couple of billionaires. Those are people that are just cool to have in your network, in your phone book. But then there's also people that should be your friends. Friends are different. Friends are just people you can hang out with on a Tuesday, say like, boys, yo, let's go for lunch, whatever. These are some of my boys. The channel, Noor, legends. They're starting up a vlog channel. In fact, this is the reason I filmed this. So guys, I got a cameraman. Let's film. You don't have an excuse. They live the coolest life. MashaAllah, from private jets to $50,000 shopping shopping sprees, to crazy stuff. Living a crazy life. They're gonna start vlogging now, so make sure you go show them some love as well. With Dubai OGs, we're always linking up, and it's always cool to have people that are killing it in life to make me push harder, which is also awesome. I heard Justin Bieber got blacklisted from Ferrari because he did some mods.
I heard some YouTubers put some cats and like paintings on their Ferrari, and instantly Ferrari called them out. They're like, "What are you doing? Get rid of this shit." Because they want to keep a
You got
specific
your cats,
look.
by the way, right?
Yeah, we got a few cats. Yeah, there's a cat. Sure, let's go.
Yeah, they got 2 little kids. I've been seeing on your
So
story.
cute, man.
When did you get them? Yesterday?
Last night, yeah. My mom woke up. She's like, "I want some cats." There they are.
Yo,
This isn't
bro, that's like 1 kilo. How old is it?
3 months?
I don't know, something like
Yeah,
that.
roughly 3 months.
When did you name her?
I
Or
think this
him.
one, yeah, he's
Still debating.
Yeah, I'm trying to go with Enzo, but I like that.
Enzo.
Yeah.
Where are we going now?
We're gonna go Trove, just hang out for a bit, and then see where the night takes us.
Yeah, I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, 2-turn baby girl, you know me, still with the dogs that I grew beside, all the niggas around me, right at the guy.
So yeah, there we go, another typical day. Apart from work, meetings and check-ins with some of the employees, and also trading the session, we also found time to have a workout and then also go out and hang out with the boys, Chan and Noor. But yeah, what I'm gonna do is a couple more days like this, regular days of my life, so you can see behind the scenes of when I call a signal on Twitter, when I call out a trade, how I'm actually thinking when I'm taking that trade, and then also just the other random stuff I get up to. So ladies and gents, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.